Alright folks, I made a long video here with a lot of observations. Whether you're wielding a spinning rod or fly gear, the tips in this video will help you catch more stripers in the surf. We'll cover the primary tactic I'm using in this video, which is essentially tight line dredging. That's a fancy way of saying that I like to be in touch with my fly while it moves along the bottom. On this day, I came tight to a dozen stripers while half a dozen spin anglers on my left got skunked. I'll tell you what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong, to help you better understand my approach. Let's get some basics out of the way first. Here I am targeting striped bass in early November. The current is going east to west, which is left to right. The current becomes strongest after the biggest wave sets, so you'll see the current gushing towards the right after big waves crash. Those currents are strongest right up front due to the structure and swell direction, which is also left to right. There is a buffet of various species here for the striped bass to eat, which might be why the fishing is so tough. There's so much opportunity that the predators can be lazy about feeding. My offering is a clouser minnow, and there are lots of hickory shad willing to take it near the surface. I see lots of big boils up front, usually just after a small wave crashes. I'll point those out with arrows in the video. Those are striped bass on the feed. The shad are farther out, and the bass are close to the beach. When I first pulled up, an angler had two fish on. He was handling a 20-pound class striper that ate his bucktail and a hickory shad that ate his teaser. It seemed like he caught those fish farther out because after he released them, he was making long casts. I don't think he caught any more stripers after that though. Back to the current. That strong westward sweep gives me the option to swing my fly, which I tried doing a bunch to no avail. We'll talk about swinging another time and focus on the functioning technique today. Once I realized that swinging doesn't work, I began using lots of upsweep mends to keep my fly in the strike zone for as long as possible. The strike zone today exists within about a 20-foot window around the beach lip. The beach lip is where the waves break. The strike zone ranges from about 5 feet above the beach lip to 15 feet below or behind it. I've found this window to be the predominant strike zone on structureless sand beaches. The purpose of mending is to prevent the fly from moving along the bottom. I mend constantly when fishing the surf. Movement is built into the fly, so the fly doesn't need to be actively retrieved to appear realistic. Once the fly is this far down current, I usually just pick up and cast. I take a lot of long casts starting out. I know there's fish at my feet because I caught two before I began filming. I saw that one bigger fish, so I'm wondering if there are some larger bass farther out. I get no hits out there though. A few times today, my farther casts work out though, when I get a bite near the beach lip. I find the longer I stay tight to my fly in the water, the more confident I feel I'm going to hook up if I get hit. I'm mentally in the zone and I'm tight to my fly, and I'm therefore able to remain patient during the most crucial moments. Therefore, my favorite place to land a fly is about 5 to 10 feet just past the strike zone. So I'm letting it sink, sink, sink. There's not a lot of sideways current right now. The beach lip is like 5 to 10 feet in front of me, and my fly lands about 10 feet behind the beach lip. So I've got about 20 feet of line between my rod tip and the fly.
That's gotta be a bass. Yep. Just bring him up on the sand, that's all.
It's pretty cool that even in fast forward, you can see how long I try to keep my fly in the water. I'm not casting any farther than 30 feet out, so my fly is moving extremely slowly within the strike zone. Also, for the rest of the video, I'm just going to fast forward through the segments where I decide to swing the fly. Swinging the fly was just a waste of time on this tide.
Get a big, oh wow, there we go. That's the kind of ripple I'm talking about. That's insane. That's a big one. Sometimes those ripples up front are eddies, but that was serious.
You'll see a little bit of what I call the breakdance here. I walk towards a breaking wave to reduce the amount of slack line in front of the impending whitewater. To unglue my floating line from the surface, I wiggle my rod tip and raise it towards the sky. A flick of the wrist sends the line just over the crest of the wave, effectively eliminating the inevitable drag that would have occurred. My fly remained motionless on the bottom.
So the fish mostly hit at the end. I don't know if they're like following in from far, but they are hitting right at the beach lip. I got a feeling that they're hanging out by the beach lip. So when hits come at the last second all the time. When the fluff fly looks screwed up, it doesn't really good. There's a fish. It's going to be a shad fisher. There's a line under these birds. There it goes. There's a shad. Window P. So what happens when you move it a little too high off the bottom.
So, despite the striped bass's blatant preference to feed up front, I spend the next few minutes letting the current swing my fly at the end of some longer casts. I simultaneously consider tying on a large beast fly, despite my success with the clouser. So, I'm just going to speed through these next few minutes.
There we go. Striking right. I'll keep him up here. Oh. There we go. That's not bad. I've been moving with it. Trying not to let the drag take it too much. Just the rocks. Let a little bit of line out there so I couldn't move. Collect him when it comes in, walk him back with it. Just wait. Sure, still tight. Yes, got him. Ooh. Ooh. Awesome. It's working very well. There's the closer. Oh, there's the sunset. Damn. Beautiful. Got another. Oh my god. Oh my. Not bad, not bad. Oh, idiots. That's a slimy one. Most of my lines are in my bucket. in the back, so I'm just gonna test it all out. Actually, I'll do this one from the outside, even though getting all the bass right up front. There's a little bass, and I'm wondering if a bigger one is chilling outside. That was some sunset. Goat sky, bruised.